Howdy there, twine compadres. All right, I'm going to talk about some palm blocking in this video. Until we get some discussions going in the comments, I'm just going to make some videos, see what bites, see what people want to learn. Let me know what you want to learn. I'm happy to address anything. I made a couple of videos yesterday on simple things, what is the tuning, how to play a major scale, how to harmonize a major scale in thirds. Let's do something a little more intermediate maybe. Palm blocking. Okay, there's pick blocking, there's palm blocking. You don't have to do one or the other, you can do them both. They both work for different sounds, different styles, different things you're trying to create. So when I palm block, although the palm blocking seems to be more elusive for many people, and it certainly has been for me, when I palm block, I'm thinking of a couple of things. The first thing being just like the height of the guitar. Like I noticed that if I'm playing a guitar that's too high and my hands are like up, I can't palm block well because I just can't get a good flat surface to rest my hand on where I'm like relaxed, where my shoulders aren't hunched up. You know, I think that posture and your body and being relaxed behind this thing has a lot to do with it. When you watch really great steel players, they don't have tension in their body. You know, they're pretty chill, and I think you hear it in their playing. You know, if you get tense and you get nervous and you know you're clenching your fingers, your arms, you're going to hear it in your playing. It's not going to be as fluid. If you hold the bar too tight and you're pushing down on the strings, you're going to play out of tune. So that's just generally something to think about, I think, always when you're playing steel. It's just ergonomics, being relaxed, feeling good at the guitar, messing with your pedal height, the height of your guitar, finding something that works well for you. So palm blocking. I am resting my palm, as you can see right here, kind of just sometimes kind of over the pickup, behind the bridge, whatever feels comfortable. Something I really love about the Emmons guitar is that it kind of has these posts right here on the bridge, right by the changer fingers there, that you can kind of just rest your hand on, and it feels like a really natural place to pick from. Okay, so the pattern we're going to use I call finger, thumb, thumb, and I'm using these two fingers. A lot of the time almost all the time when I'm palm blocking, I'm mostly playing with these two fingers until I go to grab a chord, I'll bring in my middle finger. But I get a better angle, can get up on the side of my hand more using thumb and finger. And I want to mention something about the thumb. I keep my thumb very parallel to the string to where I'm able to pick the note with the flattest part of the pick. I don't want to be getting inside of the pick, I want to be getting the beat of the pick, because that's where you're going to get sort of a full tone from, and also it's going to keep your hand anchored to where you're not floating around and getting all like mixed up. I also want to point this out, that you know, if your arm's sticking out, that's not going to serve you. You're going to not be able to play with good dexterity. You want your arm to be relaxed and close to your body. And a really good exercise to do this is simple. Just get a pad of paper or a magazine or something and hold it in your armpit. You know? And I'm not like clenching it, I'm just keeping it there, and that keeps my arm there, right? I used to do that all the time. Okay, so resting palm, middle finger, thumb. The pattern is this: finger, thumb, thumb. I'm at the 10th fret, D chord, strings 3, 5, and 4. 3 with the finger, 5 with the thumb, 4 with the thumb. That's just like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. It becomes a roll. That's it. And I'm blocking with my palm. You can see I get a little motion going there. And it's not like a lot. I'm not really lifting up. I'm trying to move it I'm trying to raise it up and keep it back down. It's just kind of a bounce, and the palm gets in rhythm with what you're picking, right? You want it to be muting and accenting at the same time. You want that all to be working together. A good way to practice this is to just put on a metronome, a click, start slow and speed up, and experiment what it sounds like to pick block it versus palm blocking. And I'm doing a little bit of both. Like there, I'm getting it with my palm, but I'm also going back and putting my finger back on the string. So I'm kind of getting the percussive sound. But it's mostly coming from my palm. And you know, obviously I'm accenting the third string a little bit more, right? Because I want that to 1 and 2 and da-da. I want it to hit. I want it to sound like something. So a good way to practice this sort of thing, let's do an exercise. Let's create an exercise. Something I think is really great, a good habit to kind of cultivate in your perspective of practicing, is that anytime you work on something, come up with like a workout for it. And I think that like working out isn't always the most musical thing to do, but when you're building dexterity or you're warming up, can definitely be helpful to have exercises, right? So here's one. So we're going to start on string 6. We're going to go 6, 8, 7. Then we're just going to move up the string group one string at a time. So finger, thumb, thumb, 6, 8, 7. All right, and then we're going to go on strings 5, 6, and 7. Then we're going to go on strings 4, 6, and 5. And then strings 3, 4, 3, 5, and 4. So the exercise might go. That kind of thing. That kind of thing. And honestly, like the palm blocking is hard, slow. The faster, I'm not gonna say the faster you go, the better it is, but there's a tempo at which it becomes a little easier before it gets, and then there's a tempo at which you're just like, what am I doing? This is too fast. But that's a good exercise, just going down the string groups. And you could do it on some split triads too, like you could do 6, 10, and 8. There I was just skipping a string. It's a little more challenging, but something to challenge yourself to think about. And then eventually, once you get these rhythms going, this kind of stuff can turn into licks, right? I don't know, I'm not really thinking very hard about this. I'm just kind of exercising. I don't know, just little things. This isn't very musical. The point is to just kind of get a rhythm going, keep your hand going. So I want to review this. Palm blocking. Rest on the bridge, kind of back behind the pickup. Real light touch, real light bounce. No tension in your shoulders, no tension in your arm. Pick parallel to the thumb pick, parallel to the strings. And then otherwise, you're just doing a lot of thumb and middle finger. Except when I maybe go to grab a chord, I bring my hand back in. A student asked me in a private lesson the other day how I transition from going from the more picking fast single note stuff, palm blocking, to playing kind of back into the more vocal style. And I think it's just a lot of hand positioning. I guess if you can kind of see it, I'm just kind of like, when I'm palm blocking, my hand just is a little more like this so I can block. And then when I go back to getting my first finger in position, to get these picks parallel on the strings, I kind of get my hand a little more forward facing this way again. And I know this is like really mundane, and these kind of studies about ergonomics or dexterity or whatever can be like it can be sort of distracting from feeling like you're actually making music. But I know I fought this stuff for a long time, and when I finally started to figure out, I was actually able to play a lot of the stuff that I wanted to play. All right, so I hope you guys dig. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, things you want to learn, things you want to talk about together in the comments.